What's up, everybody? Hey, can I share something with you real quick? You know, my wife Rebecca and I, we don't meal prep anymore. We don't count calories, and we don't measure out our portions. And our kids, they don't argue about food anymore either, and they're thriving. And you know, feeding a family, it really shouldn't feel like a second job. But honestly, for most people, it kind of does. So my wife Rebecca and I, we've got 9 kids. Yeah, you heard that right. So basically, we've been professional baby makers for the last 20 years. But since we've adopted the carnivore way of eating, we don't stress about food anymore. Now come on now, because that alone should stop you from scrolling. Hey Louie, why don't you slow this down for a second and actually introduce yourself? All right. Well, first of all, if you're new here, welcome to Carnivore Family. My name's Louie. So this channel was actually started by my wife Rebecca, and she built this while raising our kids, running our home, and you know, just doing real life. And she homeschools. And on top of all that, we also own a pressure washing and a window cleaning company right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So yeah, you know, she, me, we stay pretty busy around here. And you don't even want to know what it's like when the kids are in sports. We've got 3 different cars going in 3 different directions. So yeah, our family has grown, especially after our 9th baby. So Rebecca put making content on hold just for a little bit, which honestly, totally makes sense. Okay, now while I might not be as pretty as she is, now hey, don't get that twisted though. Notice I said might not and not am not. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. So I decided that I'm gonna go ahead and step in and carry this forward for a bit. It's the same family, the same heart, and the same approach. Now I wanna be really clear right up front real quick. Now this channel, it's not about telling anyone what they should eat. I'm just gonna be reporting to you what our experiences have been, and I also wanna be there to help answer any questions or help anyone else out there. So the intent of this channel is just to show what we do, what works for our family, and how we keep food from running our lives. Is that cool? All right, so like I mentioned before, we've got 9 kids. Our oldest is 18 and our youngest is a year old. So yeah, food kind of matters around here. And if you've ever fed a big family, then you know this already. Man, you don't survive on motivation, you survive on systems. All right, now here's a quick backstory. I lost about 120 pounds and Rebecca lost about 70. But honestly, the weight loss wasn't even the biggest thing. It was my health and my energy. I was pretty much laid up in the bed for 3 years. I'm telling you, I would sleep 18 to 20 hours a day and never feel rested. I suffered from debilitating anxiety with agoraphobia, and I was on medication for just over 20 years. Eventually, I became a type 2 diabetic. I suffered from sleep apnea, I had high blood pressure, and a bunch of other things going on. But when I changed my diet, I reversed all those things. And I started noticing a difference in how I felt by day 3. And then, you know, I started to get some mental clarity about what really mattered in my life, which for me was my faith and my family. So if you want to hear my full story, well, Rebecca interviewed me a while ago, so I'll link it right here so you can check it out. Anyways, yeah, so Rebecca suggested that maybe we put the whole family on this way of eating. That way it can be a support to me. You know, what an awesome teammate she is. Do you agree? Yeah, well, she also interviewed all the kids a while ago, asking them what they thought about this way of eating. So I'll go ahead and I'll link that right here. And hey, on a side note, if you want to see an updated interview now that we're 4 years in and they're just a little bit older, comment below. I might be able to make that happen. All right, so here's the thing that usually surprises a lot of people. We don't set family meals. There's no okay, it's Monday night's burger night, Tuesday night's gonna be steak night. I mean, our kids just eat whenever they want, whatever they want, and as much as they want. You know, we don't police their portions, we don't count calories, and there really isn't food arguments anymore either. And that's probably the best part. I mean, they used to fight over, well, who finished the cereal box? Or I don't want pizza tonight. Or I can't eat that hot dog now because we ran out of buns. So I think when the food's right, I mean, the kids, they regulate better than people think. So Louie, so what's always in your house? What do you keep on hand? If I were to walk into your kitchen today, what would I find in the refrigerator? Yeah, so you'll find chuck roast, ground beef, pork steaks, chicken thighs and legs, eggs, sardines, butter, salt, and sparkling water. So that's the backbone. But then we rotate stuff in and out whenever we feel like it. Things like shrimp, lobster, crab, different kinds of fish, bacon, sausage, and ground chicken for carnivore pizza. Now, when we make pizza, we'll use pepperoni, sausage, ham, but we don't live off that stuff. Now, whenever we buy cheeses, we always look for the full-fat options, and we almost never buy orange cheese because animals don't produce orange dairy. So we'll stick to things like white cheddar, Monterey Jack, Swiss cheese, brie, mozzarella, cottage cheese, and Parmesan. Now, don't forget buffalo mozzarella now, or caprese. And we always read the ingredients list too, because not all companies play nicely. When we buy cottage cheese and sour cream, we usually stick to the Daisy brand because they've only got 3 ingredients, where other companies, like I've seen 20 ingredients. Now, when we're out and about, sometimes we'll hit up the grocery store, you know what I mean, and grab some deli meats, or we'll stop by a fast food place and get some quarter-pound patties. Now, when we order patties, we usually order them plain and with no seasoning, because McDonald's a few years ago started adding sugar to their salt. So we just stay away from salt from fast food places and from other restaurants, and we keep a big salt container in each one of our vehicles. Again, now none of this is fancy eating by any means, but it is pretty freeing. Now, we did take our kids to Holiday World this summer, and when we start getting hungry and you smell all that food cooking, we start thinking about funnel cakes and burgers and pizza and fries and everything else. But then we make our way back to our vehicle and we get our carnivore pizza, our shrimp, our steak, our burgers, or whatever else we brought. And once we're full, like that's it. We don't think about that funnel cake anymore, or those chicken tenders, or whatever else. They just don't appeal to us anymore. So we move on and enjoy the rest of the park. Now, as far as drinks, we just do plain sparkling water and flat water, and we don't do coffee anymore. All right, now before you go blowing me up in the comments like I'm not telling you what to do, that's on you. I'm just telling you what we do. Or what we don't do. So the relationship we have with food in our home now is functional. It's not emotional. All right, so, we shop in bulk. There's a place in Nashville called Restaurant Depot, and it's kind of like a Costco for restaurants. Now, they've got pretty good pricing for large families like ours. For instance, we can get 73.27 ground beef for $3.91 a pound. Now, you have to buy 80 pounds of it to get that price, but we typically buy 160 pounds, and that'll last us about a week and a half or 2 weeks. We'll buy 30 dozen eggs for about $70. We used to grow our own chickens for eggs, but that just kind of became too much work with all we got going on right now. So I just want to say as I wrap this up that, we cook in big batches. In our home, everybody 6 years old and up knows how to cook. Now don't get it twisted. We still got to supervise our 6-year-old Diesel, but he's pretty good with that air fryer. Now, one thing we tell everybody in our house is that when you cook, make extra because there's going to be somebody else that's going to eat it. So yeah, we just use simple seasonings. It's just salt. And we live off repeated meals. And honestly, the thing that surprised me the most is once I broke my food addiction, I no longer felt like there wasn't any variety. And now at 51, I feel like I'm living my best life with this way of eating, and it's totally sustainable. And that's not boring, that's freedom, because nothing tastes as good as it feels to be healthy. So let me encourage you today, because this channel isn't about doing everything to perfection. This is just what works for my family, and you'll need to find out what works for yours. And if food has become stressful in your house, and you're burned out trying to plan everything, or if your meals feel like a constant argument, well, maybe simpler isn't the problem. So if that made you pause for a second, well, that could be a good thing. Hey, so as I wrap this up, I just want to say, if you've been here since the beginning of the channel, well, thank you so much. And if you're new, I want to welcome you. We're just going to keep showing real food, real life, and real family rhythms. Hey, if this video encouraged you today, well then drop a comment below and share this video with someone you love. Follow Carnivore Family on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok so you don't miss the next one. And lastly, if you have any questions or you just want to say hey, drop us an email at carnivorefam@gmail.com. Now remember, food shouldn't run our lives, it should support them. Now go eat a steak. Go, get out of here, go!
Me.